no half and half, but you can take heavy whipping cream and then you can take another sippy cup size of milk. Or, I mean, you can mix this stuff. That's how I make my milk. That's how I make my half and half when the store doesn't have any half and half, which I would have never thought of 5 years ago. Half heavy whipping cream, half milk, mix it up, you have half and half. Because that's what half and half is. It's half heavy whipping cream and half milk. So I've taken them down to show you, but there's still a lot more. Yeah, I've got a little bit, just a little bit of a milk problem because I'm addicted to coffee and I like my coffee the way I like my coffee. And even if there's an SHTF, I'm gonna find a way to make my coffee. I'm just saying. If you guys enjoy the soy milk, coconut milk, almond milk, stuff like that, I did not notice any shortages. But there was a sign up in front of the milk cooler where I got the dairy products stating that there is a dairy shortage now. So I guess it moved from eggs to dairy. And I tried looking up information online, didn't really see a lot except for a little tiny bit on Google. There's nothing in the news, nothing on the YouTube news. I'm not seeing anything on a dairy shortage, but it has hit me. And I live in California where there's dairy. I'm just saying. So I don't know what's going on, guys, but I just wanted to show you guys some options in case, don't freak out. Don't freak out. Just, buy some stuff if you feel like it. That's by January of 27. Okay. All right, folks, there you go. Do what you can with what you've got. Prepper Princess out. I think there's something wrong with my dog. She goes from small to large. Maybe she's just big bottomed like some of us ladies. Are you hiding in there? Where's your face? There it is. Are you comfy? Yeah? My boy comfy? Oh, you want the inside? Okay. Right there. Oh, I see that leg stretching. I see that leg stretching. Handsome boy. Mr. Handsome. Oh, hi. Hi there. Mommy loves you. You too, little one. Yeah. You still look silly.
What? What are you whining about? Is your friend outside? What is it? Is your friend outside? and blow it away? Now what are we gonna do? She's freaking out trying to find her ball. Poor little bozo girl. Pretty windy today, so I'm just getting chores done inside and working on market bags. I need to keep one of these doors open for circulation purposes, otherwise it gets too warm. I have to have at least one door open. Did you find your ball? I heard it squeaking. It sounds like she found it. Can you hear the wind? Huh? The mountains to the east of me are starting to look a little hazy from the sand, dust being blown around. Essentially, there's a line of thunderstorms that's trying to come through, and the mountains are blocking it. So that's why we have all this wind right now. Last I saw, it looked like we had a couple of small rain cells that were like northwest of us in Oregon and Washington and Northern California, of course. You want to come back in, my girl? She really is attached to me. Oh, but she's a daddy's girl. She loves daddy. Probably because dad plays with her way more often than I do. And dad'll keep throwing that ball until she gets worn out and exhausted. Huh? 2 o'clock. Hang it in there just right. Okay. And we start row 6. row 7. Now these bags are pretty easy to make. They just take a few hours, and they just take a couple of basic stitches. Surprised she's not wanting to come in. It's crazy windy out there. It's gonna be basically like this for the next few days. I checked the ones earlier and it said like basically between like 20 and 24-mile-an-hour winds, 25-mile-an-hour winds. Yeah. I was hoping to do some hand washing of some laundry today, but that's not going to happen with this wind. It just kicks the dirt all over everything. Okay, row 8. And for the base of the bag, basically what you're doing is you are just going back and forth with single crochets. And you got 46 stitches in a row. 45 stitches plus a chain one, actually. Row 9. Now this bag pattern works up better with cotton yarn. I do recommend 100% cotton. It's got a nice stretch to it. It's going to hold a lot of items. And then you can also machine wash it as well. Now the yarn manufacturer does recommend that you do a cold water wash on your item if you're making a garment or something that you like a textile that you would use around the house, or even maybe if you would use this yarn for amigurumi, although I don't know of anybody that would. I think that usually they use like an acrylic yarn for amigurumi. the manufacturer does recommend that you wash it separately with cold water. Just because the dyeing process sometimes will have some bleeding of the color. All this yarn is pre-dyed before it gets to me. I love market bags, and you know, the pattern that I made for myself for the first time, the Rusco's green pattern is what I use for my bags. And back in the day, I was making like solid colored ones, and they were mostly like ecru and brown and white. Well, now I've decided that I'm not really interested in selling boring colored bags. Life is so like interesting and beautiful, and why why should we have to have like boring market bags that just come in one color? Okay, now we're starting row 10. I got a couple more of this back and forth, and then we'll switch things up a little bit. Sometimes when I crochet, I'll listen to podcasts. I listen to YouTube. I have a bunch of different people that I subscribe to, their channels. Sometimes I'll listen to music. Sometimes I'll just listen to nothing. Sometimes I'll listen to the wind blow. Okay, row 11. And I'll have to double check, but I think row 12 is the row where we stop with the back and forth pattern and start working in the round. I love to crochet. I love knowing that I'm making things that have a purpose. In the crochet world, it's really hard to find a niche because there's so many different cool things that you can make. You can make wearables. That would be like clothing, scarves, hats, gloves. You can make amigurumi. You can make bags. You can make purses. You can make coasters. You can make trivets. All kinds of different home goods. You can make towels. One of my good friends, I made her some really beautiful a towel set, a kitchen towel set for her wedding gift and her wedding colors, and she was thrilled about it. The funny thing is, I think she told me a while back that she's afraid to use them because she doesn't want to get them dirty. Okay, so let me double check my pattern real quick here. Get in here to find it. Is it in files? Sure is. Okay, yeah, so row 12 is the row that I start working in the round. So we've got the base of the bag made, essentially. What we're going to do is add 2 more rows in the round to go around the base, make it just a little bit wider, and it's all going to be double crochet, or I'm sorry, it's all going to be single crochet. So then what we do, or basically when we work a corner, we're going to do 3 single crochets in the corner just to turn the work so that it's even on all 4 corners. So we got 44 in the first row. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42, 43, 44. Now, this is the last stitch in the row, so we're going to put 3 single crochets in that corner stitch. That's going to be the corner. And then we're going to work 9 stitches down this short side. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Then we're going to do 3 single crochets in this last stitch of this particular short row because it's the corner. So we're going to do 1, 2, and 3. So then you're going to do 1 in each of these till you get down to the edge of the long row on the left here. And you should be 45 stitches, I believe. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42, 43, 'kay, and then what I'm going to do actually, my last stitch is so tiny here. This is the 44th stitch. I'm going to make 3 in there. And then I'm going to turn for my last little edge of this row. And we'll do 10 here. And then if you do it right, you can just kind of crochet over this tail, so that way you don't have to work your end in later. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And then in this last stitch here, you're going to do 3 single crochets to end the row. In the round, more like. And now you're going to do one more round on this particular base. And you're going to go around and you're going to do a single crochet in each stitch until you get to the end where the corner is. Then you're going to put 3 single crochets in each corner. It's so windy. We don't lose anything in all this wind. here's my corner. 1, 2, oops. Not that easily. Then we go back across the short side. Till we get to the corner. And then we do 3 single crochet in the corner. And then we're going to single crochet down that long end again. Usually it takes me about an hour to do a base on one of these, so I'm making good time. Looks like we're at almost 40 minutes. I know at the beginning of the video you heard that lady that I was listening to talking about egg prices. Luckily, I have neighbors that sell eggs that have chickens, and I was able to get 2 dozen for $8 the other day, which is great. That's way better than the in-store prices right now. Plus, if you know, you know, eggs that come straight from the butt are the best tasting, especially if they're free-range chickens and they're allowed to eat bugs and worms and stuff like that like they're supposed to. Their eggs have so much more flavor. Okay, here's our third corner. Do 1, 2, and 3 single crochets, and we're gonna make this last end here, and then we're gonna do 3 final single crochets in the last corner. And then we will tie off because our base is completed. Okay, so you're basically going to just cut your yarn and you're going to pull this through. I usually secure it to the last stitch on the previous row. And then do a slip stitch to just pull it right on through. And you only have one end that needs to be weaved in there. So what we're going to do is we're going to switch yarns next. I've got this beautiful variegated yarn that will look great with this color of teal. And I have a tendency to do the bodies in a different color than the base and the handles. So I use something more colorful for the body of the bag. And you can basically add this on anywhere that you want to. I just have a tendency to add it to the same corner as where I just finished. So you can basically go right into the next stitch. Connect your yarn. You don't need to have a real long tail because it's just going to get woven. And then what you're going to do is you're going to do 2 chains, and you're going to skip this first stitch, and then you're going to do a double crochet in the second stitch, and then you're going to do a chain 1, and then you're going to skip the next stitch and then do a double crochet in the next stitch and a chain 1, and you're going to skip a stitch and then do a double crochet in the next stitch and chain 1, and then you'll skip a stitch, do a double crochet in the next stitch and a chain 1, skip the next stitch, do a double crochet in the next stitch and a chain 1. So you're simply doing a double crochet, a chain 1, and skipping a stitch over and over and over again all the way around. Now this is the pattern that you're going to work in rounds the majority of the way around your bag until you're almost to the top where the handles go. In the last 4, 5, 6 rounds, something like that, is slightly different. I think it's to add a little bit of stability to the top of the bag where the handles are. Because this body of the bag is made mostly of double crochets and chain 1 stitches, those are like really quick and easy to form up. And the body of the bag usually is completed rather quickly. Just kind of depends on how motivated I am to work on it. I really like projects that are repetitive because then I don't have to constantly look at my notes or look at my pattern trying to figure out where I'm supposed to be. I like easy patterns. I like repetitive patterns because then it gives me the capability of multitasking, and I don't get bored of just crocheting. I can watch a show or something or listen to a podcast while I'm crocheting. And I don't have to worry about messing up stitches, getting a wrong stitch count in or whatever. But usually if I'm not listening to something, I'll just count stitches anyway. Force I have it, I guess. usually do a stitch counter to keep track of row count when I'm working in the round, so I don't have to continue to go back and count over and over and over and over again. I don't think my stitch counter is in here. I left a bunch of my crochet stuff out in the truck because I'm often crocheting in the truck. Jared and I were at the hot springs the other day, so I was doing some work while I was out there. So yeah, my stitch counter and then my little spindle thing that spins my yarn so I don't have to constantly unravel it is out there. My convenience items, as I like to call them. Well, that stitched like needle, did it? Try that again. Much better. I've heard some people say that they don't really like this Lily Sugar and Cream yarn or the Peaches and Cream yarn. They're pretty similar, but they're made by different people, different companies. I have never really had an issue with it. I mean, yeah, it's not as silky as like acrylic yarn, but I don't have many problems with it. Like, I'm not having more splitting or anything like that. It's not particularly difficult for me to use with the type of needles that I get. Just basic needles or basic hooks. So I'm not really sure why it's got a bad reputation. I like using natural fibers. Not only do I feel like natural fibers are likely to last longer and be stronger, but they're also better for the environment too. And since I'm at the end of the row, I'll just join at the first stitch, top of the first stitch, which happens to be a double crochet. And then what we're gonna do is we're gonna get to the next chain one space by just doing a slip stitch. And then we do it at chain 3. And then we're basically going to follow that same pattern. So in the next chain 1 stitch, you're going to do a double crochet. You're going to chain 1, and then you're going to skip this chain 1 space, or I'm sorry, you're going to skip the stitch and just go into the chain 1 space. So you're going to do a chain 1 to skip the stitch and then do a double crochet in the chain 1 space underneath. So it's basically a double crochet and a chain 1 over and over and over again. On the body of the bag, you really don't have to do anything as far as corners go. You don't have to worry about doing corners or anything like that in this part of the bag. 3 minutes. Now, I just read somewhere that when you're working in the round, every single time you end the row, you're supposed to turn your work. I've never heard that before. I don't know if that's true. With this particular bag, there is a way to disguise it so you don't see a seam. And it took me like a couple times of making it to really figure that one out. You always want to make sure that you're doing some kind of seamless connection at the end of the row. There goes yarn. I got a yarn wrangler on me. My yarn bowl's being occupied by something else. Bobby Boyne may no longer be with us, but his hair will always be with us. Miss that guy. Okay, so your second row of the bag is complete. You're going to just do a slip stitch on the top chain of your first double crochet, or your chain 2, I guess it would be. So you just slip stitch, and then you're going to do a slip stitch so that you're in between those two in the chain 1 space. And then you're going to do your chain 2, and then you're going to do your double crochet and your chain 1, and your double crochet and your chain 1. And you're just going to repeat the pattern for row 3. I think I'm gonna stop the video at the 1 hour mark so that way I can start another video for the people that are following along. And we'll do it in segments. So that way if anybody needs to take a bathroom break or snack break or go pick up their kid from the bus stop, whatever, you'll know exactly where you stopped at and you will be able to pick right back up.